this close enough? Okay. What about here? Is that good? No?
I can turn you up if you get further back, so
Well, I just want to
try
make
to
sure.
stay around 6 to 8 inches from it.
Okay, how's that? Right there.
Perfect.
Is that good? Okay.
We're live, getting ready to go on the air with
30
Ben's
seconds.
Ask the Expert show. 30 seconds. We've got Haley, Carolyn, and a surprise special guest.
Who could it be?
So you have to say this first paragraph.
No.
You don't?
No, it's just like the typical Ask the Experts intro.
Okay. Well, I'll say it because I'm
Yeah,
sure.
that's good.
And good morning. This is Ask the Experts on Talk Radio 1190, where we talk about prominent professionals in their field of expertise, including listeners on health, home improvement, legal, and financial topics. Ask the Experts is streaming live on iHeartRadio, iHeart.com, and you can listen online at 1190talkradio.com. I'm your host, Ben Friedman with Atlas Plumbing Company. And along with me is Haley Thornton of iHeartRadio.
So happy to be here. If you'd like to join our conversation at any time today, you can call us at 817-787-1190 or 214-787-1190. Either work just fine.
I hope you like that intro music. That is the Big Bopper from back in the day in the 60s, I believe.
We were dancing in here.
We were dancing on the table, actually. The music today is out of respect for a special guest that we have coming up in the second section, the owner of Atlas Plumbing, Sonny Friedman. But before we get to him, we're going to talk a little bit about Atlas Plumbing and who we are, what we do, and why we do it here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Atlas has been in business since 1932. We've been in business over 80 years, and we do plumbing. We do everything from your water pipes coming in, your drains going out, natural gas, anything in between is what we do as licensed plumbers in the state of Texas. If you want to find out more information about Atlas Plumbing, you can contact us at 972-243-8051. You can also visit our website at atlasplumbing.com. We're also on Facebook at Atlas Plumbing Company or Twitter at Atlas Plumbing Co. That's Atlas Plumbing Co.
So they've got everything.
We've got everything. So we're going to get right into it here. Obviously, we're all dealing with the heat. And
It's bad out there.
It is absolutely miserable. What comes along with this heat are issues with your plumbing, too.
Absolutely, and I feel like that heat is on the forefront of everyone's minds right now.
It is. So,
How does the heat affect the plumbing?
well, I'm glad you brought that up. The heat affects plumbing in a number of ways. The big one, I think, is if you are a homeowner and you've got water heaters in your attic. It gets very, very hot in the attic. I mean, how many of you have not wanted to go in the attic in the summertime?
Absolutely.
Probably everybody. Well, as plumbers, we have to go in the attic, and we've got to take care of what your problems are. One of them can be a lack of air circulation in the attic. When it gets really, really hot, your water heater can go on the fritz. You might think that maybe you're not getting enough hot water out of your fixtures. There could be a number of reasons for this. One of them is the lack of air that's circulating in the attic. There are some components inside the water heater. One of them is called a thermocouple. We won't get into the weeds about all this, but if you want to ask questions, you can certainly call us or go to our website and find out more. But basically, when there's no circulation in the attic, the pilot can go out. And when the pilot goes out, you don't have hot water. And so you call and you say, I don't have hot water, what could it be? Well, sometimes you need more circulation of air in the attic. And We just had a customer that this came up with yesterday, and we found out that, yes, it was just a component in the water heater, but the water heaters were over 11 years old. And we recommended that an HVAC tech come out and test the air quality and the circulation in the attic. So it could be a number of different things that could affect your hot water. In the cold time of the year, obviously hot water can be affected too. If your pipes freeze, then you've got a real problem, and you've got to call to get that pipe fixed. So that's how heat and cold and weather in general can affect your plumbing.
Do you find that you have more issues in the summer or winter, or does it even matter?
Plumbing is a year-round challenge for homeowners. And so our job is to diagnose properly on the first call, make sure that we're giving you all of the proper information up front, offering up what our solution can be, what we charge for it, and we go from there. If you want to get a second opinion, you're absolutely, I'm happy for you to get a second opinion. That way you can compare apples to apples.
You said that your customer's water heater was 11 years old.
It's 11 years old. Yet, customer had 2 water heaters up there that were actually 11 years old.
How long do they usually last? Is that typical to last 11 years?
Water heaters can last anywhere from the day after the warranty expires up to about 25 years typically. A lot of it depends on how rigorous you're making those water heaters work. So there's several different setups for multiple water heaters in attics. But if you just have one water heater and you're doing your wash every day and you're washing your dishes every day and you're taking your showers, you're probably going to be fine. But if you start taxing the water heater, maybe you have guests coming in for the holiday and everybody's taking showers at the same time, you're doing clothes, you're washing your dishes, that's going to tax your water heater and it may not last as long.
Okay, makes sense. So for job seekers, how do you get a job in this business? I know you've been involved for so long. Maybe it's been a while.
Well, we're short in the industry when it comes to employees. Yeah. Don't get me started about what's happening with our economy and all of that, but I will just tell you that there are ample jobs in this industry.
Really?
You've got to be willing to work. You've got to be willing to get your hands dirty, but it's a very, very rewarding career once you get into it. The thing about the plumbing industry is that it's never going away. So anybody out there that's looking for a long-term career, you might want to consider plumbing or some sort of service industry type of job like HVAC, electric, anything that has to do with a home, it's always going to be out there. So for job seekers, how to get into the business. You need to become an apprentice and you need to learn under a master plumber. If you've got some friends or you've got some family that are in the business, ask them, who do you know that I can get a job with? In our industry, plumbing in particular, we can actually pay somebody to train and learn on the job and send them to school to obtain their license.
And that's that apprenticeship?
That's the apprenticeship. So a little plug to the Plumbing, Heating, Cooling Contractors Association of America, which Atlas Plumbing is a proud member of. We actually have a program here locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area where students can get the training that they need to learn about the fundamentals of plumbing and how plumbing is done and why it's done. We walk into a lot of homes that people think that, yeah, the plumbing, maybe to replace this fixture, replace a cartridge inside a fixture takes 20 minutes. Well, if you're not a plumber and you don't have a license, how do you really know that? Yeah. So we came across a customer the other day that thought that we should install a fixture in literally 20 minutes. Well, it may take 20 minutes just to dismantle it to find out what the product is that's broken. And so we come up across a bunch of interesting things out there in the business. But if you're a job seeker, you might want to give us a call at 972-243-8051 and ask how to get into the business, and we may just have a job open for you.
Wow. So I know that you have done a lot of different jobs in your life. What is it about this plumbing business that really stuck?
Well, one, I've been around it all my life. The plumbing business was good to our family. It put food on the table. It taught me a sense of responsibility watching my family run the business. As a kid, I would show up in the summertime and dig ditches and work with these guys. Actually learned how to drive when I was 12 years old, pulling
Oh.
trucks in and out of the garage. I think that's what helped me pass the parallel parking test when I was 16 years old as well.
I'm still not sure if I can pass that.
Well, it's one of those jobs that I think it's rewarding in that you're helping people accomplish their goals. Everybody needs their plumbing to work, and if it doesn't work, they tend to get a little nervous and need it done right away. And you know, me personally, I've always been in the business of helping people, no matter what industry I've been in. So my job is to help people and help them accomplish their goals.
Do you see very often people do plumbing work that aren't qualified?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
every day. And unfortunately, it does give our industry a bad name. There are several industries that have people that work in the industry that give people a bad name too. But having said that, yeah, you need to make sure that you hire a licensed plumber, and we'll go through some of the questions that you can ask a plumber when you're making a call to find out if they're qualified to come into your house,
Okay.
as we do when we're qualifying you to come out to your house as well.
Maybe we'll talk about that a little more up next. For now, it's time for a quick break. Up next, we'll talk a little bit more with Ben.